Station of the Year. This is Western Mass News at 6 p.m.
Coming up on Western Mass News, tensions rise on the eve of Election Day. We're getting answers on what's being done to help keep the peace.
And Governor Charlie Baker issuing a stay-at-home advisory for people in Massachusetts, plus hour restrictions for businesses. Coming up on Western Mass News, what this means for local businesses.
Strong to damaging wind gusts subside this evening, but we do have a breezy, cold day on tap for Election Day. I'll have the details in my first warning forecast.
We begin this evening with breaking news out of Springfield. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us for Western Mass News at 6. I'm Jordyn Jagolinzer. St. Michael's Academy has informed parents that remote learning will continue for the rest of the week for grades pre-K through 8. In a phone call obtained by Western Mass News, Principal Ann Dougal says the school, which had been remote last Friday and today, continues to perform contact tracing after 2 students tested positive for COVID-19. Dougal says the school's goal is to return to in-person learning, but the safety of students and staff are their top priority. Unrest over the weekend at opposing rallies in Northampton has officials looking ahead to public safety on Election Day. We do have team coverage on the election for you. Lindsay Kane standing by with the latest on the governor's order activating the National Guard, and Audrey Russo is getting answers for us in Northampton on how local police departments are preparing to keep people safe. Audrey.
So the tensions arise from political disagreements in between a pro-Trump rally in Northampton and a counter-protest, and law enforcement had to get involved. Northampton's police chief tells me that because of that and because of unrest across the country, they're beefing up security and protocols to make sure everyone is safe on Election Day. Back the blue and pro-President Trump demonstrators countered by police brutality demonstrators in Northampton Sunday. Crowds got big and police had to intervene.
There was bleach confiscated by one of our supervisors from a protester, but the protester was just in possession of it.
Police Chief Jody Casper says they're still unsure if anyone got splashed with bleach, and they're also investigating reports of a car being swarmed by protesters.
At a certain point, the car moved forward, and we're really not sure whether the pedestrian was struck by the vehicle. There's conflicting reports of that the pedestrian put themselves on the vehicles.
Casper says there were no arrests from this incident, but that political tension across the country has caused her to play it safe and put extra patrols out on Election Day.
We have staffing levels that are slightly increased. We didn't grant any time off for the day tomorrow. And we're hoping that we have a really smooth day.
Western Mass News also spoke with the president of the Massachusetts Police Chiefs Association, Chief Jeff Farnsworth of the Hampden PD. He says each community has mapped out potential targets for security threats and has also collaborated with other police departments.
We talk with all of our neighboring communities to be able to use, resources. Mutual aid, our partners in the state police are available.
While prepping for the worst, Farnsworth says he's hoping for the best and that anyone who does want to protest will do so lawfully.
We're not finding any credible threats in the Commonwealth right now. We're on heightened alert. We encourage people to speak their mind and do so in the appropriate manner.
In Springfield, Mayor Dominic Sarno says they have 50 state troopers at their disposal and that they're putting a police officer at every polling location. Reporting live, Audrey Russo for Western Mass News.
Audrey, thanks for that live report. Our team coverage of Election Day security turns to other measures in place for tomorrow and the days following. Western Mass News reporter Lindsay Kane is live in Springfield with what the governor and state police are now doing. Lindsay?
Chris and Jordan, Governor Charlie Baker signed an order today to have 1,000 members of the Massachusetts National Guard ready if they are needed. He says if any local officials request assistance to help maintain public safety, the National Guard will be ready.
Sometimes it's in advance of a storm or something else, or sometimes it's in response to a fire. And we've also brought them out when local communities have raised concerns about their ability to safely manage really large outdoor gatherings. And we've heard from a number of our colleagues in local government who've asked us to make the Guard available if need be, sort of later in the week.
Massachusetts State Police tell Western Mass News there are no specific threats on the Commonwealth. They are, however, continuing to monitor public gatherings related to the election. State Police will have increased staffing tomorrow and in the days that follow. Live in Springfield, Lindsay Kane, Western Mass News.
Lindsay, thanks for that live report. We're currently tracking some high winds across Western Mass tonight. For more on the rest of this week's weather, let's turn things over to First Warning Meteorologist Janna Brown. And Janna, hopefully tomorrow will be nice for Election Day.
Yeah, it is looking dry, Jordan. That's the one thing. But it's going to look similar to today in terms of temperature and breeze. Now, this is crazy looking. This is a video from Courtney sent in from Feeding Hills this afternoon. Just due to the strong wind gusts, there are some tarps just kind of blowing around on the road. A little scary for drivers. We did have a peak wind gust today of 65 miles an hour at Mount Tom. Westfield and Chicopee both close to 50 miles an hour. Pittsfield over it. And Orange checking in. The highest gust I could find there so far is 38 miles an hour. So it has been a windy day. Now, the wind advisory has been allowed to expire for the Pioneer Valley. Continues for another hour in Berkshire County. We do have some lighter wind gusts right now, still gusting close to 20 miles an hour in Springfield, but not nearly as widespread or rough as it was earlier. Still a good, healthy wind, though, out of the west-northwest at 16 miles an hour. We're down to 35 degrees, so that makes a difference on how it feels outside. We've got about 30 to 35 degree temperatures across the board, and with the wind, it's feeling more like 20, so it is a very chilly evening out there. Now, we are mostly clear at the moment with some clouds building into the Berkshires, and some snow is actually on the way for northern Berkshire County, where winter weather advisory is in effect through 10 a.m. tomorrow. Now, we are expecting cloud cover to increase for everybody tonight with a few snow showers in northern Berkshire County at first, and then we'll have some scattered rain and snow showers across the valley through sunrise. They do come to an end by the time the sun comes up, and Election Day is looking quieter. We'll take a look at that forecast in just a few minutes. Jordan.
Janna, thanks. Rising COVID-19 cases in the state have prompted Governor Charlie Baker to take action. He's now issued a new stay-at-home advisory, which will impact residents and businesses across the state. Western Mass News reporter Sarah Granelli joins us live with details and reaction. Sarah?
Jordan, starting on Friday, people in Massachusetts will be required to be home by 10 o'clock at night till 5 in the morning. The Baker administration also putting limits on businesses as for when they can be open, and this is all to stop the spread of the coronavirus. Governor Charlie Baker announcing Monday that a 278% increase in COVID-19 cases since Labor Day weekend is forcing him to issue a stay-at-home advisory and other restrictions.
Whenever possible, avoid gathering, no matter the location, with people outside your household. And when you do go out, wear a mask.
Come Friday, most businesses will be required to be closed from 9:30 at night to 5 in the morning. Those include restaurants, though takeout is not affected, liquor stores and marijuana stores. Also on the list are several different indoor and outdoor events, casinos, and gyms. Western Mass News checked in with the owner of Nadim's Downtown Mediterranean Grill in Springfield to see if closing at 9:30 will have a financial impact.
If you told me this a year ago, I would say definitely it's going to hurt. But at this point right now, we typically, on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we shut it down at 9:30. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of activity.
We also stopped into Bertelli's Liquor Mart in West Springfield. The owner says they normally close at 10.
And night times between 9 and 10 have kind of been quiet the last few months. So I think it's going to probably impact more of the bigger stores in bigger areas than us.
MGM Springfield could also be feeling the impact. A spokesperson sent us a statement that reads in part, "We are evaluating the impacts on operation. We're in this together and remain committed to the health and safety of our guests, employees, and the overall well-being of the state." And now, if you're planning on having people inside your home, that is limited to 10 people. And as for outside, that's 25. And again, this all goes into effect on Friday. Live in Springfield, I'm Sarah Granelli for Western Mass News.
All right, Sarah, thanks for that live report and information. Taking a look now at the latest COVID-19 case numbers in the state. Here you see the trend over the past 5 days. The state reporting 725 new cases, as we now have had 156,385 confirmed cases in the state. Massachusetts also reporting 9 new deaths due to COVID-19. That brings the statewide total to 9,797. Springfield's Bright Nights 5K road race will be virtual this year due to the coronavirus pandemic. Participants will run the route of their choice, and then they will submit their times and photos online. Runners will also be judged on their costume creativity. Judy Matt from the Spirit of Springfield says the race has been a tradition since it began 15 years ago.
Mayor, the continuance of this event is one more indication that through your diligence for keeping us safe and informed, that Springfield is moving forward.
Registration opens this Wednesday, November 4th, and runs for 1 week through next Wednesday, the 11th. The first 250 to complete the registration will be eligible for early registration for next year's race. Typically, the event sells out in a matter of hours.
He definitely adds a lot of support when we come back from calls.
Next on Western Mass News, meet the cutest addition to the American medical response in Springfield.
Plus, the pressure is on for the Pats QB Cam Newton and the team after Sunday's devastating loss. I'm Kayla Burton. Coming up, I have insight from a former New England quarterback in my live Patriots report.